Grab you a cup of coffee, and today we are talking all about what my rising 12th graders are going to take for their 12th and final year of homeschool high school. Hey everyone, this is our final year with my oldest two, and one of them I've only homeschooled through high school because she's adopted, but my other one, this is like that final stretch of the goal we've been working towards. And honestly, with the way that political things happen through the years, I wondered if we were even going to have the laws and legality to homeschool all the way through senior year. I always kind of had it as our goal to get through senior year, but I was always worried about what happens if. But here we are, we're going to make it. We have 1 year left, and she is going to complete all of her schooling through homeschool. And it's that final stretch. It's a lot of bittersweet because I love seeing that we made the goal that we set when she started preschool at home. And now it's also that, oh, they're growing up. But I'm also going to just enjoy this last year with them. We've actually really already been having an amazing summer together, and I'm really just enjoying it. And it's really busy, but it's also really good. So we've been just taking in as much as we can and enjoying it. But also it's summer, and I'm actually filming this the morning of her 17th birthday, so I really want to hurry up and get some videos done because we're fixing to go into a month of vacation, and there's gonna be so much vacation footage, like literally almost the whole month of July plus like the first part of August are going to be vacation. So let me get into it and just discuss it. So what I'm going to be doing is I am running off of a list that it's all a digital program that our umbrella school uses for us, that to where it has all of the classes alphabetically in order of what they're taking, and each student has their own list. So I'm double checking. I'll double check here in a minute. I'll run off of just what the first one that popped up for a senior was, and the first course that's listed on here for their senior year is economics. Now the funny thing is this list is alphabetically, and economics is actually a spring class. So in the state of Tennessee, it is required for seniors to take 1 semester of government and 1 semester of economics. Now, if you've watched our videos before, you know that in Tennessee, homeschool high school students take all of their classes for a full year. Math is a full year, literature is a full year, science is a full year, and half of the histories, almost all the histories are a full year. Government is still in homeschool a 1 semester class, and economics is a 1 semester class. The reason why why I chose to put economics in the spring is my two that are becoming seniors now just finished in their spring semester personal finance. My 9th and 10th grader are taking personal finance in the fall. It's a 1 year subscription for the teacher key, so I wanted to go back to back whenever we could. So that's why I spaced it out the way I did. It wasn't that I wanted to rush them into personal finance when these two did it for 11th grade, but because it's that 1 year subscription and we would have had to pay $200 more to do it for separate students later, we decided to couple them together. So I don't want to do personal finance I don't want to do economics the same semester as their personal finance. So I chose to do it that way, and I talked to the kids about it, and they understood and they were okay with doing it, which also means that we'll get to it in a minute, but they'll have another class this fall. So economics is the one class that they'll do just this spring, and they won't have to do it this fall. The next one on here is English 12 literature composition. So for homeschool, instead of taking like buy a book, do a literature course, by this point in high school, most kids know punctuation, syntax, all of that, diagramming sentences. So for me, once my kids get to high school, I'm not as worried about reviewing all of that again because they've reviewed it so many times for the past 8 years leading up to high school. So what we do is we go with literature and composition instead. Literature and composition basically is and it's the whole basis of why we use movies as literature. And I will be, after our month-and-a-half vacation, I will be doing a video on which one they're doing, but the topic they chose for 12th grade movies as literature was biographies. And there's another reason why I chose this, but I'll get into that in another video, but I specifically made them wait until 12th grade to do biographies. I promise I'll get into that in that video. But The reason why we're going with movies as literature, though, is because instead of doing the buy a book, review all these things, again, that they've done for 8 years of homeschool, and homeschool does such a great job of nailing down those basic foundations of learning, we go with the literature and composition. So basically what it covers is you have a book, you have composition, and you have reading. So like it's, I just repeated one of those. There's 3 basic foundations. I know one of them is reading, like reading at one of them is reading skills. One of them is the actual literature that you're using and studying it. And then there's the actual penmanship, composition, learning how to do the reports. And I have learned with our kids, with, pulling them back and not doing like an actual literature foundations class, sometimes making them go and do their report and take the thoughts in their head and put it on paper into a presentable report, they will actually remember things that they didn't think about. Like, oh, hey, this was supposed to have a period here. Oh, hey, this needs a comma here because this next sentence starts as this is 2 compound sentences because it has a subject and a predicate. And I find that they have actually, it's more like, okay, you've done all this, now you have to apply everything you know, and they'll actually remember these things. And my one that was struggling has excelled through movies as literature doing it this way. So I'm perfectly fine their last year just sticking with movies as literature and doing the biography one for their 12th grade literature choice. The next one on here is nutrition science. One of the things that I felt my kids needed to know before graduating high school was, okay, you're fixing to go into college culture or career culture where they tell young adults to just grab a Red Bull, you're fine. Hey, let's go grab pizza. Didn't we have it last night in breakfast? Yeah, sure, who cares? Yes, it does matter. It does matter what you put in your body, and it does matter what you do. You can't just live off of Red Bull and pizza all the time. So this class is 100% geared towards teaching them the differences. And what I've already done, I've already made a video about this class, and it'll be linked up there and down there. And I'm really super excited to teach this one because I feel like 12th grade is the perfect time to really nail down this is what I believe about taking care of my own personal body. And it's a little more detailed of actual nutrition and what's good for your body and vitamins and learning to read signs of your body, mental health, physical health. And I really felt like 12th grade was the perfect time to do that because they're fixing to be on their own where, we're not, okay, let me clarify. We are not kicking our kids out when they turn 18, but one of them wants to go to school. One of them wants to go straight into a job, which means they're not always going to be under mom and dad anymore. So they need to know that, hey, when I'm responsible for my own well-being, I need to make smart choices that are going to help me stay healthy. So that was the purpose of doing nutrition science. And they were perfectly fine with it. We talked about it whenever we had health class last school year. Yeah, my 11th grader and 9th and my rising 12th graders and my 10th grader took health class last fall whenever the other 2 were not in, or whenever my 2 12th graders were not in personal finance. So we talked about it then of like, are you interested? And they said yes. So this is an elective class. It is not required. You do not have to have 4 years of science in high school. So it is 100% an elective class, but it was, again, one that I felt they needed and one that they do want to take, and they had feedback on some of the topics that they're going to be studying in that class. The next one on here is their science, and it is physics with labs. So if you were on a modified path or if you were on a non-college bound path, you actually don't have to do labs with physics. One of mine is actually looking at doing schooling after high school, so she does have to take physics with labs. My other one really doesn't. So what we did was, my one that is going to school after high school, she is going to do physics with labs as an honors course. She will also be doing additional paperwork, research, books, reading, all the other things included with it. The physics overall overview, I can't do a review until my 2 oldest ones take it, but the overview will be if it doesn't fit up here, I only get 5 cards up here, then it will be down in the description, and I try to make a list of all the classes. My one that's not going to school after high school and has a career she's going into, her career actually does require some science to it, but she is not required to, with the honors class, to actually do a lot of the hands-on physical labs. what she does is she does more of the visual aspect of it, which we're fine with, and I don't want her to have that pressure anyways. So and this is the last class in the 101 series. They already have taken biology and chemistry, so this will be their absolute last science. And the reason why you also have to wait, most people usually wait until 12th grade to do it, is at least in the state of Tennessee, I don't know other states, this has always been our anchor state for homeschool. In the state of Tennessee, to complete chemistry, you have to have completed Algebra 1, and to complete physics, you have to have taken Algebra 2. Well, one of them is in Algebra 2 this summer, and then the other one took it this past school year. So that's why we specifically had to wait until their senior year to do Physics 101. And they love the 101 series, so they're actually pretty excited to take the next step and work with it, because it also deals more with like what I would consider more of the fun aspects of science. The next one on here is statistics. Statistics, both my AP and my visual learning 12th grader chose statistics over pre-calculus because, in our personal opinion, statistics is way more, well, I don't want to say way more, but statistics is so much more important for real world life, we personally feel, than pre-calculus was. And also, like, unless you're going into a career that requires you to take calculus in college, statistics was the better option, because statistics teaches you to read and use graphs in the real world, and teaches you how to do those things that you need in the real world. For example, they just finished personal finance. Personal finance, the way the entire course is done, I'm fixing to do the review video here in a minute on that, but I have done the overview for sure already. Before this video is made, it'll be down there. But for personal finance, every week for 20 weeks, you have to make a Google spreadsheet of your budget. Before they took the class, Matt and I, for years, even before we had like access to Google Sheets, we would make a graph on paper of our budget and highlight it every time we paid a bill and keep it spread out so that we had all the paychecks on there, how much each paycheck was worth, and then how much the bills were. And we have that budget that we have functioned off of since day one of our marriage. So kids need to learn how to use those spreadsheets, how to plug things in, and I'm really excited for them to be able to take this course. And they're actually really happy to do this course. They are looking forward to it. They have already done a sample course on it to see if that was the route they wanted to do versus the pre-calculus. And they're both really excited to jump into statistics this fall. And I'm not just saying that, be like, oh yeah, they're excited. No, they actually are. They're looking forward to statistics this fall. Last but not least is U.S. government. Again, one of the required history classes is, so in Tennessee, 9th or 10th grade, you have to take world geography or world history. My visual one took world geography, and my AP one took world history honors. And then both of them took U.S. history this past year, and I did a video on that, I think. If not, no, that's going to be coming this fall. But they did Hillsdale College for U.S. history. And now we're going to be doing, I'll get into it in another video, but we will be doing online videos for U.S. government this upcoming fall. And again, that's going to be their class that they'll take this fall, and then they will do it this spring. So let me double check that is how, I'm pretty sure this is the one semester that both my visual and my AP student are both taking the exact same classes, and that is correct. So my AP one, her 3 AP courses are economics. Physics is not listed as AP. Oh, once my daughter made it up to senior year, we were changed over counselors, and one of the new counselors, I have to show extra paperwork to show that her sciences are actually AP, but it's okay. I just need to put that in so that they'll not complain about it. But her 4 honors classes are economics, literature, physics, and U.S. government. So I just need to give them more paperwork, but that's okay. So I will give them what they need, and they'll change it over. So, because basically the way that umbrella school works anyways is that we're the teachers and the principals, and we see our kids one-on-one. We're the ones in charge of what they do and don't do. So I just got to give them the extra paperwork. So there's 4. There actually are 4 on there. But that is it. That is what my 2 rising seniors are going to be taking for their last year of homeschool high school. And these are all classes that, it's not just because it's their senior year. There's some classes they're looking forward to. Physics will have a little bit of some, I don't know. Homeschool physics that we're using versus public school physics are so different. Statistics is going to be an interesting one, and they're so looking forward to the biographies for their movies as literature. But that's it for today's video. Thank you to all of our members for supporting this content and allowing us to continue making videos. And thank you to every single one of you for liking, watching, positive comments, and subscribing. And we will see you next time.